What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Legacy, and Regidrago is coming to Pokemon GO and Elite Raids this weekend on March 11th at 11 a.m., 2 p.m., and 5 p.m. local time. So I'm going to go over today the top 10 counters for Regidrago. Now, I think it's going to be a tier 6, but what I've been told is it's a pretty tough duo, but if you guys get like 4 people, maybe you should be okay. Now, what is it? So it's a pure dragon type. It's only weak to Ice, Dragon, and Fairy. I think only one Ice type made the top 10 list, but we'll go over the move sets. It only has one fast move, which is Bite, a dark move, which won't be Stab, luckily. But then its charge moves are Hyper Beam, Dragon Pulse, Outrage. So one normal move and then 2 stab moves. So let's start with number 10, which is Rayquaza. But you want, I think, Rayquaza makes the top 10 if you have one with Breaking Swipe. Without Breaking Swipe, it doesn't make it, so if you have one, you can use that. Yeah, I don't have one powered up to at least level 40 or 50 with the Breaking Swipe, the new move. I guess it's a 3-bar charge move, comes out pretty quick. I guess it's better than Outrage, it looks like. And yeah, how's Rayquaza going to do against the move sets? Hyper Beam will be neutral damage, but it's going to be weak to both the charge moves, so that's the problem. But still, Rayquaza does a lot of damage, especially with the Breaking Swipe. I think that's why it recommends Breaking Swipe over Outrage, is just because it comes out quicker than Outrage. That's my guess. Okay, now we'll go to number 9. I think it's the only Ice type that makes it. Just Ice just aren't that good. Powder Snow, Avalanche for Shadow Mamo at number 9. So how's it going to do? Okay, with Hyper Beam is going to be neutral, and both the charge moves, Dragon Pulse, and what's the other one? Dragon Pulse, and Outrage will be neutral. So Shadow Mamo is just good, especially if you happen to have snow weather, which I don't. It's getting hot here in Texas now. Okay. Alright, let's go to number 8. This thing made it. It's crazy that this thing made it. So you want a Dragon Tail, Precipice Blade, Primal Groudon. Now, this is just like the Dragon Tail just does so much damage, and Precipice Blade is not even a super effective move, and it still made the top 10 at number 8. That's how good the Dragon Tail Primal Groudon is. And you're not even boosting anyone. A lot of times when I make these top 10 lists, we're boosting people, not people, Pokemon types, but Groudon boosts what? Fire, Ground, and Grass, I think? It doesn't matter. I guess it charges the moves, right? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Primal Ground is just that good with Dragon Tail, Press Blades, and then all the moves will be neutral, the Hyper Beam and both Dragon Pulse and Outrage, yeah. But it still made it. It's kind of like the Shadow Mewtwo would always make it in top 10 lists just because it just does so much damage. But I think it's just the Primal Ground is doing super effective with the Dragon Tail. That's the reason. Alright, number 7 is Shadow Gardevoir. Where's my Gardevoir at? Here it is. Shadow Gardevoir. Charm, Dazzling Gleam. Now, it's a Fairy Psychic type. So the Bite, the fast move will be neutral damage, but then it's going to double resist both Dragon Pulse and Outrage. That's why it's so high up on the list. And then our Hyper Beam is neutral. Fairies, especially if you get cloudy weather, Shadow Gardevoir is really good. Okay, so let's go up. What number 6 is Latias, Mega Latias. Now, Mega Latias it's really the Dragon Boost. I think some of the Pokemon like do a little bit more damage, but the Mega Boost, like I always talk about in all these videos, it's just so good. So Mega Latias with, what do you want? Dragon Breath, Outrage, yeah. Mega Latias is really good. Boost. Now, how's it gonna do? It's gonna be weak to both the Dragon moves, but then the Hyper Beam will be neutral, and the Bite, it's also gonna hurt it here, which most of the time it doesn't. But since Latias is part Psychic, it really hurts it. But still, the boost is just 30% boost is just way too good. All right, now number 5 is Shadow Dragonite. I think now I'm looking at the list. There was actually one Pokemon I should have put on here instead. I guess we'll give it an honorable mention before we get to the number 1. Yeah, okay, so yeah, Shadow Dragonite, Dragon Tail Outrage. Yeah, Dragon Tail Outrage. So it's a Dragon Flying, so it's, you know, it's going to be weak to both Outrage and Dragon Pulse, but then Hyper Beam will be neutral. Most of these are going to be the same because it's almost all Dragons. Dragons are just so good. They do so much damage, especially the Shadow Dragons. So that's number 5. Actually, I got to go back to Dragonite. You could go with Draco Meteor as well. I think it's always best to have both moves, but I think Draco Meteor is a Community Day move, so that's the only issue. So Dragon Tail Outrage is good enough, but if you have one with both, that's like the most optimal way to do it. Alright, and then we'll go Shadow Salamence. Is that Shadow Salamence? Yeah, Salamence at number 4. It's the same situation as with Dragonite. You could go with Dragon Tail Outrage if you have both. But I think in this situation, Outrage is the legacy, is a community day move. So if you have a Draco Meteor, I think I have a regular Salamaster Draco Meteor somewhere. I think I Elite Charge TM it. Yeah, I Elite Charge TM them. But if you got one with Draco Meteor, is fine. It's actually better in some scenarios. So yeah, that's it for Salamaster. It's the same thing as Dragonite. It's gonna be weak to Outrage and Pulse, and then Hyper Beam neutral. But you know the Dragon just hits so hard, especially in windy weather. Okay, now we're on to the top 3. We'll start with Latios. Is it Latios? Yeah, Latios at number 3. Mega Latios. So Latios, same thing as Latios. It's not as tanky as Latios, but it does more damage. That's like the only difference. But Latios is going to be weak to Bite as well. Weak to Outrage, weak to Dragon Pulse. But the Mega Boost is just too good. So that's why it's all the way up here, number 3. Like I said, 30%, it's a lot. Just for reference, I say this in almost all the videos. Weather Boost is 20%, and then Best Friend gives you 10%, so that's 30, and the Mega gives 30% as well to your whoever people you're rating with if they're using a certain type. So yeah, Megas are just broken. All right, let's go to Salamence at number 2. Mega Salamence. I hardly use this thing. I'm not a big fan of the way it looks though, but it slightly outperforms Latios sometimes, and I think this is the same thing with Shadow Salamence. You want Dragon Tail Draco Meteor. If you have both movesets, that works, but you go with Outrage or Draco Meteor here. Yeah, Salamence just is a little bit better than Latios here. Also, the Bite is not going to hurt Salamence, so that helps it out. And we'll do an honorable mention, something that I've never done, but I think this Pokemon should have made the top 10, which is Shadow Latios with Dragon Breath, Dragon Claw. How does this thing do? Yeah, it's the same thing as it's going to be weak to Bite, and it's going to be weak to Dragon Pulse and Outrage. But I think it does outperform Rayquaza, so this one probably should have been number 10, so we'll just give it an honorable mention if you have a Shadow Latios. And number 1 on the list is Mega Gardevoir. This is one of my favorite shinies. This and Mega Rayquaza. I wonder when we'll get Mega Rayquaza. But it just looks so elegant in the black dress. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I can't wait to use this. I'm gonna use this for sure when it comes out, at least once. Look at that dress. Charm, Dazzling Gleam on the move set. The reason it makes the number 1 list, even though I think like Salamence and Shadow Salamence and Mega Salamence do more DPS, but the tankiness is just too good. Plus the 30% boost if you're boosting like other people using maybe Shadow Gardevoir and stuff. It had to be number 1, just because. And then Bite is neutral damage. Since the double resistance is what gives it the top spot. I really didn't expect it to take the top spot, but this time it did. Anyways, I hope you guys have fun rating Regidrago. It's Pure Dragon. Cummington Elite Ray. It's not as tough as Hoopa. Hoopa was tough. I think it's still going to be tier 6, so you're going to need a few people, and you can't remote invite, so you just got to find, people in your local area to get it done. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you're new here, please consider subscribing, and I'll see all you next time. Bye.